Welcome to the SNN Network Summer Virtual Event. We are pleased to introduce the next presenter for today's event, Darcy Taylor, founder and CEO of Leaf Mobile. Darcy, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, and welcome everyone to our Leaf Mobile presentation. Let me kick this off very quickly by introducing and highlighting the total addressable market, and then I will introduce the Leaf Group and why we believe we're so well positioned to capitalize. So very simply, we explain the market in this way. One, mobile is eating the world. The smartphone revolution began in 2007 with the iPhone. It hasn't slowed as far as adoption. Over 50% of the world now have a smartphone today, and with 5G entering into the market, we see no slowdown in this adoption going forward. So quite simply, mobile is eating the world. And then if you look at our space, gaming is eating mobile. Where do people spend money on mobile? Overwhelmingly, people spend more money on mobile games than any other area of revenue on iOS. And that's on a combined basis. So in a mobile world, gaming is a natural growth vertical to participate in. And then lastly, if you look at the entertainment vertical, gaming is now the entertainment vertical. It's the largest, fastest growing consumer entertainment segment, bigger than music, bigger than movies. And if you're gaming, you're most likely doing it on a mobile phone. And if you're most likely on a mobile phone gaming, you're spending money. So incredibly strong tailwinds. Now, just as a quick snapshot of Leaf and where we are in the market, we're the largest free-to-play mobile gaming company in Canada. We've been building a powerhouse gaming group that's disrupting the industry by fusing a distributed studio network and a game development SaaS tech platform. We're headquartered in Vancouver. We have approximately 170 employees operating in 3 studios based in Vancouver as well as Belarus, Minsk. And our main markets by revenue are predominantly English-speaking world, US, UK, Australia, UA, and Canada. Our business is driven off a 3-pillar revenue flywheel that consists of one, our product and portfolio, and this is our organic growth where we develop and publish games within our studio group. We generate revenue in this area by in-app purchases as well as advertising, and the mix of those two is roughly 70% in-app purchase and 30% advertising. Our second growth pillar is our technology platform, which we refer to as our distributed network or our blue sky opportunity. And this is an IdleKit software framework that we license out to other developers in which we generate revenue by a SaaS-based licensing fee, as well as participating in the gross economics of the success of the game. And lastly, our third pillar is acquired growth through M&A. This is where we look to consolidate successful early stage growth studios, and we utilize this to build scale and have accretive revenue or EBITDA to our bottom line and top line. Now, our strategy to date has performed very well, and we're truly excited about our first half as well as exit of last year. Last year, we ended the year just doing shy of 81 million in top line revenue, which was a 116% growth year over year. We had a record first half as well as a record second quarter. Our first half, we generated just shy of 48 million, and that would be 38% year over year growth as well. And then our last 12 months, we've almost done 94 million in top line revenue, a 16% growth versus the current year, and we've been profitable all through that on an adjusted EBITDA basis of roughly 11.5% margin. We have a genre-leading portfolio with a #1 rank as far as in-app purchases in the casual idle space, and that's been built off the back of 10 games, and we have over 7 games plus in the pipeline. Our journey to date has been over the last 3.5 years when my co-founder, Mike Edwards, and myself put this company together. We've seen 3 acquisitions to date since our foundation, and we have delivered a very robust IP-driven portfolio of games with tremendously strong IP partners of the likes of NBC, 20th Century Fox, and Sony. Some of our games you may have recognized, such as Archer Danger Phone, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, The Goldbergs, or Trailer Park Boys Greasy Money. And this proven growth strategy of leveraging narrative-based idle games through robust IP continues to scale. If we look at the first half highlights, I'll just tap on a few of the areas where we've shown strong momentum across each one of our growth pillars. Firstly, in our product and portfolio, we've recently announced the launch of RuPaul's Drag Race Superstar game. This is in partnership with WoW Productions. We're tremendously excited about this game for several reasons. One, we believe we'll be creating the category for the LGBTQ+ space in free-to-play. And we're doing this with the partnership of WoW and their Emmy Award-winning show, RuPaul's Drag Race, which is now shown or broadcast in over 6 different countries worldwide, and arguably the most recognizable icon in the space, RuPaul. Our early indications from our soft launch in several geographies right now is that the game's metrics are delivering over and above any of our most successful games to date. So we're tremendously excited about the early indicators. Secondly, our technology platform. We have now 10 IdleKit partners on our platform. We've introduced 7 more since the start of the year, and this has placed 15+ games in our pipeline in the next 18 months. So we are developing more games currently than we have to date in the last 3 years since inception. This IdleKit is obviously an iterative tool built on a SaaS-based platform model. So we continue to add feature sets. This year we've added the ability to drop NFTs within our IP portfolio. We have NFTs across 3 of our games currently. And in doing so, we partnered with Wax, who is the largest, one of the largest marketplaces for aftermarket sales of NFTs in the video game and movie areas, where we launched our first collectible game, Bud Farm Nifty Stash, which we're enthused about the early indications of the results in this space. We're excited to be in this space. The lead on our business in this area is Mark Flavel, and those who are in the NFT space will know him by name since he was the co-founder of CryptoKitties as well as the co-founder of Dapper Labs. And then lastly, our M&A or acquired growth. We've done 2 acquisitions to date this year. Our transformational acquisition of Eastside Games for $159 million in February, and most recently the $37 million acquisition of Truly Social to increase our portfolio as well as our scale and development opportunities. So how does this all come together? We highlighted that we had a deep product IP pipeline. This area has us sort of building upon strengths. We have 10 games right now that are just doing shy of $94 million in the last 12 months, and we are going to introduce or almost double our portfolio by the end of the year, also bringing into that portfolio super marquee IP games like RuPaul's Superstar, as well as games with NBC, CBS, and BBC to be announced. So doing the quick math, 10 games doing just around 94 million. We expect these next 10 games to do equal to, or if not better than our current portfolio. So we believe we have a tremendously strong runway to growth exiting the second half, where we see these games start to build and going into 2022. Additionally, Our current portfolio of 10 games are still in that growth and going into that high EBITDA optimization. We're big believers in long life cycle games and have built our portfolio as such. So our games are currently in the sort of, we refer to as the first inning of growth. Our average game title longevity is just over 5 years, with our longest title in its 10th year of operations. We're able to do this by having very strong or best-in-class live ops in our business, meaning that we are continuously iterating and adding features, episodes, and content into our game ongoing to ensure that we retain and monetize our consumers or players over a long life cycle. So moving on to the IdleKit platform, and this is the area that traditionally gets investors the most exciting because it shows the tremendous scalability of our business model. Now, IdleKit we refer to as high margin or low touch SaaS-based revenue. And what it basically does for developers in layman's terms is it reduces the developer risk. So it allows them to de-risk game development by enabling them to build games faster, cheaper, with a higher propensity of success. So we've built a framework that sits on top of their design tools that allows them to have the science behind game development. It integrates live ops events. It integrates management analytics. It allows them to push their creative into a framework that, as I stated earlier, de-risks the development process. All of this is also provided with APIs that will enable them to see a very rich data set that they can make data-driven decisions on as they grow their game out. We capture all that data into our database and are able to crush it with our 10 games. So we're providing them comparatives as well as looking at the success of these games as they roll out on the platform. Now, from our point of view, it allows us to distribute our revenue across a development network where we enable ourselves to grow without growing our overhead. It complements our organic portfolio revenue, and as well as it increases margin expansion as we participate on each one of the games developed from a licensing point of view, but also on the back-end economics of the game's success. So it's a recurring revenue of low-touch resource from ourselves. And then lastly, we utilize it as a product and M&A pipeline or incubator. Because we're working with these partners over time as they build the game out on our platform, we get to know their teams, we get to know their IT stacks, their culture, what their visions are. And if we are able to see breakout games coming through the data set, these are times where we start to introduce or approach them as to become a part of our Leaf group. Most recently, Truly Social Games is an example of this, where they were co-developers on the Archer Danger Phone game. And with the results of that game, as well as understanding their vision, we introduced them to the opportunity of becoming part of the group. As such, they did so most recently in March. Now, obviously, companies are made of teams and people, and we believe we have an experienced team with a proven track record in IP management, marketing, game development, and publishing. We have over 60 years of combined experience on mobile games with the likes of EA, Hothead Games, Magellan, as well as Eastside. We have over 50 years of combined experience on our team in IP management and marketing with CAA, which is Creative Labs, as well as IMG, now Endeavor, of which my background comes from, and over 100 years of combined experience in AAA games with the studios the likes of Activision Blizzard, EA, Rockstar, Ubisoft, Disney, and Microsoft. So very strong pedigree, as well as we have experience in venture capital M&A, as well as a strong fiscal responsibility from the likes of KPMG, who are doing our auditing. So just jumping into our Q2 results, I highlighted on the second slide that this was a record quarter for us, as well as a record first half of the year. We saw tremendous growth, 28% from our quarter year over year, first half over 38% growth, while continuing to be profitable at an adjusted EBITDA margin of 11.3%. Our EBITDA margin growth year over year is over 100%, and we believe that this sets us up very, very strong for the second half of the year as we move out of the traditional seasonality of the summer and introduce some of our super marquee games into the second half, where we think we will start to see that accelerated growth continue. From a public markets perspective and where we sit against comps, we look at ourselves as a mashup between two areas. One, mid-market consolidators, and the second being a gaming platform tech company, which we believe our IdleKit platform or our GameKit platform lines up well. Our two North Stars within each one of these areas, one is Unity, and the second is Stillfront, as far as a competitive or a closeness to our business model. And you can see on both gaming tech and gaming consolidators, the significant multiples on next 12 months revenue in both of these areas. We currently feel that we are have an opportunity for a re-rate as we are trading well below the current market multiples, primarily driven from the fact that we are just graduated to the TSX big board in Canada and are just making inroads into the U.S. with our OTC. So as awareness builds and people start to understand our business model, and we continue to show proven revenue and profitability as we execute on our plan, we believe that view will change and will be rewarded for it in the market. Additionally, what we think will help us as well is that there's a scarcity premium in gaming. This is incredibly true in Canada, where you have only a handful of companies in the market as pure play mobile gaming companies, us being the largest, and you're tapping into a very extensive and large market comparatively to the other strength areas in Canada. This doesn't change very much as you enter into the U.S., with the U.S. Also having only a handful of majors participating. So we believe that scarcity allows very few institutional or investor on-ramps to participate in the space, leading again for us to believe that we will see a re-rating opportunity. Now, from a corporate structure, most recently we went through a 10-to-1 share consolidation just this past Tuesday. We did this for several reasons. One, it was a part of our original agreement as we graduated to the TSX. But most importantly, it positions ourselves to entertain or investigate larger senior exchanges in different geographies. And we think it also opens us up to institutional investment that may have stock price criteria, as well as our belief that it better values our company against its peers. If you look at it, we have tremendously strong insider ownership of just shy of 70%. 80% of that is locked up over the next 3 years, and insiders have been actively buying in the market outside of blackout. Most recently, the last 2 days, management has been in the market purchasing again due to our view that we will soon to be rewarded more graciously for our results to date. We have 3 analysts covering our company currently, all with buy ratings with a consensus target price of just over $7.80. So finally, if I leave you with sort of 6 boxes that I'd like to highlight for our future growth drivers, we think we have a tremendously strong blue sky with idle kit in that distributed growth model of high margin SaaS revenue and participating on back-end royalties as we invite more development partners onto our platform. As I highlighted on the previous slide, our re-rating potential for multiples when people understand our combination of tech platform and studio consolidator is a best-in-class model for the space, as well as our M&A trap line of our utilizing our idle kit as an organic M&A flywheel. And additionally, our world-class IP has created ourselves a game genre fortress in a leadership role, putting ourselves as the largest publicly traded mobile game company in Canada and giving us a moat to build out from. And then lastly, but not least, is that the timing and for gaming, it's a watershed moment for gaming. The growth continues to be strong and with no signs of slowing. So we have tremendous tailwinds for that sort of scarcity of gaming companies or solid gaming companies in the space that will allow institutional capital on-ramp into the sector. So with that, I'd like to thank everyone for listening, and I'll open the floor up to any questions that you may have. So I have one question here. What is the external catalyst, if it were to take place, that would result in major inflection point for Leaf? Well, I think from an external catalyst, we have a couple of elements converging. Obviously, the market continues to show tremendous growth, over 10% CAGR over the past 3 years, with additional mobile phones coming in the market and the advent of 5G being rolled out. This is only going to be allow for even a more robust player experience gaming on mobile phones. So we see that as tremendously strong tailwinds that we are obviously from an internal basis introducing some of the best IP games that we've built to date into that market. So we're tremendously excited about our future due to that. I have a question. What are our competitive advantages? Yeah, we think we have several competitive advantages. One, we think we have genre mastery in the casual idle space to the point where if IP players are looking to develop games, we're the first stop for them to speak. And we are now in the acquisition process to look for a second pillar of mastery through M&A. Additionally, we believe that our idle kit or our game kit platform is truly disrupting the industry. This allows us to scale without building, I'll say, central studio headcount into the thousands. We can keep very lean, not only from an HQ perspective, but from a studio group, because we distribute our network of development not only across North America, but globally with the likes of Mighty Kingdom now in Australia, as well as Bigfoot in South America. And this not only helps us from an economics scale, but also brings fresh new ideas into our gaming fold so that we're continuously iterating and improving. The last question I have here is on again, how do you see your portfolio developing over the next 12 to 18 months? Very simply, we have not been developing more games than we currently have. We have over 19 games in development at this point that will launch over the next 18 months. And as I highlighted before, the thing that makes us most excited is that we have 4 super marquee IP games coming to market. We refer to them as super IP due to the fact that comparatively to our existing IP games, the reach and scale of the player audience or the fan base or fandom of these games is 10x any of our current games. So if our track record of monetizing underserved fan bases continues to prove successful, we feel that these games will 10x what our current games are doing, which is delivering just shy of 100 million run rate. So it looks like I'm all out of time here. I don't have, there's no further questions, so I'll wrap it up by thanking everyone for their time, and feel free to reach out if you have any questions directly to myself through our website, leafmobile.io, and lastly, please download our games. Anyone who does so finds them tremendously engaging and enjoyable, and hope to be speaking to some of you on the phone in the near term as a shareholder. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Darcy. Ladies and gentlemen, that does conclude the Leaf Mobile presentation. Thank you for joining us. You may now disconnect and have a great day.